evening. Hello, the world.
The world.
This is the All With Smiling Faces podcast.
We've got a new edition.
Have we? We've got Alan. Hi, Alan.
Oh, Alan won't know.
It's like Spot the Difference from last week, isn't it?
Yeah. We've also got Alan Shearer on our podcast.
Plastic Shearer.
Plastic Shearer.
Hashtag Plastic Shearer. We've also got... Just in case.
Disco.
Just in case flags get mentioned.
Yeah.
We've also got a quality bit of kit here. Come on, let's hold it up for the camera. Let's show it off. We have got, of course,
This might be my favourite ever.
best thing in the world.
It might be me.
Brighton 2016-2017 champions.
Can we just confirm that the club never made that?
I can't actually. Can you actually remember Brighton winning the championship that year?
They didn't, did they?
They didn't, did they? Did they bottle it? Did they throw it away?
They had 3 games left and they had to get 3
rubbish.
points, and they didn't do it.
Lost it. Unlucky punks.
Saying that, they won against us.
Well, didn't I tell you?
Straight into it.
Didn't I tell you?
I know what it is because we all predicted that.
Yeah, it was.
I still said.
No, but you thought.
No, I said these were the kind of games that we lose.
Yeah,
And I was right.
you're right.
I was right.
I think the less said about that game, the best, to be fair, because it was a piss poor display from
It was
our
Huddersfield.
lot. Like.
It was a Huddersfield game.
Huddersfield,
all over again.
yeah.
Same game.
First half was absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. I expected Grant Hanley to be playing in centre defence. It was that bad.
I kind of. Oh, but let's put it out there that Knockout was utter shit.
He always
He was,
is.
yeah, he
The
was.
player that was player of the season last year, who completely didn't deserve to win that. That was
Voted
Matt
for
Ritchie.
by Brighton fans who also
Yeah.
won the championship that season.
Yeah, Matt Ritchie was player of the season for me. Like,
Yep, without a doubt.
it just shows you the difference
Without a
that
doubt.
Matt Ritchie is doing really well in the Premier League this season, and Knockout's just
Struggling.
He only won that because his dad died.
Ouch. This is something the bullies.
He said it, not me. There's been people getting threatened with the police and all sorts on Twitter for mentioning his dead dad.
Shut up, man.
That's
Well, because you mentioned someone's
because
dad
they
died.
mentioned. Apparently, it's making fun of the dead, and also what else were this was all the Brighton fans, man. After the
I'm
game.
not making fun of the dead. I'm just saying that's why
No,
I
this was the standard of patter that they had.
Deep this quick.
Dega's out. 2 minutes in, he's out.
No, I just think it's a tough subject because it is a bit of an X Factor story he had, wasn't it? Like, obviously,
It was
do you know what I mean?
the song story.
Can
wasn't
he
it?
sing as well? Like,
Probably.
probably. I hope he sings better than he plays football.
But going back to the Brighton game. To be fair, I've seen him play like that about 1.1 million times. Like,
Have you not been to many matches?
we've played like that so many times, man. It just
Exactly.
is what it is. With the same performance, it was what I expected. It was boring, it was slow, it was defensive, it was negative. But we still had the chance. Yasulu had a great chance.
Again.
It was a tough and Arsenal thought.
Is it the one where he turned and was like a snapshot?
Yeah, snap on it.
I
It
think
was a
that-
difficult
It
chance.
was I think from what I remember, it was probably the only one we had, which is.
Well, no, we did. Second, after they scored, we started playing.
Fair comment.
That's
when John Joe came on. I know what you're going to say because I love him, but when John Joe came on, I felt that we really started to hit the post.
John Joe.
it is, right? That was tricky. That late, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Going
was.
for a
Tricky.
shot. Tricky little
Tricky.
tracky.
He's done it loads of times. He's tried loads, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That was close.
I think that was the closest he's ever came. Like.
Yeah.
But no, it took us to fall behind to actually start playing and come out and actually.
I felt like
Tried
Brighton
to
got
do
more nervous as it went on because they were like, we've got a chance to
Well,
win,
it looked
and
like,
sit back and back and back.
to be honest, we could have gone on from that point and gone on. I mean, they had a couple of chances as well, like, but
All right.
we deserved something out of just for that what we did in the second half. Absolutely mullered with first half, we were terrible.
Down the left hand side, they were killing them. Headland was far too next to centre half, giving them so much room on the left, and they were absolutely rinsing them every time down the left.
It seems like ages ago. That game. I
Oh,
can't
it does feel ages ago. I remember.
2 weeks ago.
Do you think it was a foul, the goal?
It's
a bit soft,
No, it was soft. But what did piss me off was the fact that the one that got blocked by Knockout, he clearly pushed Mbemba. I texted you at the time, didn't he? He clearly pushed Mbemba out.
Well, it was that their
the referee just let it
right
go.
back, wasn't it? It was their right back, and he was awful all game.
No, it was Knockout, wasn't it? It was Knockout that
No,
it was.
it was the right. It was
No,
that
it
right
wasn't.
back, the big beard guy.
It wasn't, man. It wasn't.
man.
It was Knockout that pushed him. Then the ball hit Knockout because he pushed Mbemba out of the way, so we could have a clean shot and goal. Then it hit Knockout.
So you watched a different game.
I don't think Knockout could knock anyone down. Could knock a one
Look
out.
for it.
Knockout was sitting in the corner, man.
I guarantee you.
Free kick it was actually.
I'll bet you a pint now that was knockout.
I tell you, it was the right back. It was the right back who was marking in Bemba.
Fiver. Knockout. So that's 10 on my way.
No, I'm not. Anyway.
Because he was filthy all game. And
He was
in fact,
as well.
when Shelby had another chance when he was in the box and it was on edge of the 6-yard box and he came out and he flying elbowed him to the face. Same bloke. Right back.
It was knockout. I
What
got
was
it
he
off the
called?
line.
Something French or something, wasn't it?
Is it the Baldy guy with the big
Baldy guy with the big
he's
beard?
been there for
Bruno.
Aye,
That's him.
Frank. Aye.
Aye.
Is it
I was
Frank?
thinking that Sacha Baron Cohen. That Bruno
Sexy
one.
Bruno.
Aye.
Bruno.
Bruno.
I know what you mean, though. Aye.
That was him. I'm going to find him.
Looks a bit like me.
No. It was a disappointing performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But as I say, as I mentioned, they're the games that were.
I'm
were
sure
loose
he
that
did
you
it again,
expected
you know,
him.
as well as we're 1-0 down, I don't know what it was to go, and he brought Gale on for Yosselu. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how are you not going to a front now? It's 10 minutes to go, man. We're losing,
especially when you're on top like that, and really pressurising.
Even if they score a second, it doesn't matter.
Exactly,
The
you're
game's
gonna lose
gone.
anyway.
Let's try and get some crosses in the box. We've got 2 up front or whatever it might be. Lump it forward, whatever. And he swapped 1 for 1. I couldn't believe it. But that's life.
It's never going to happen, is it?
It's
You
a
know,
frustrating
not.
change, and obviously we'll get onto it. But he did the same on Sunday.
In certain games, I have no issues with it whatsoever. Sometimes you might even take a front man off and bring in a holding midfielder to try and shut up shop, and I get that. Of course I do. But when you're training 1-0 with 10 minutes to go, you've got to go
and try and
go for it. Like.
try and get it. You need to try and get at least a point out of it.
Absolutely.
Go at them.
I've the stamp. Let's talk about the stamp.
Real time, I didn't think it was at all. Replays, I thought it was.
Clear as
Well, I totally missed it. You text me saying, "What about that stamp?" And I was like, "What stamp?"
I saw it straight away.
So you thought real time as well?
Clear as day when I was watching it, I thought straight away. Well, I think it's because. Did you watch it on Sky?
Yeah.
See, I was watching it on NBC,
Right.
and NBC highlighted it like constantly afterwards,
Right.
like because Sky was saying that he slipped or some bullshit like that, and the commentators on NBC said it's a stamp.
Nah, it was only
he's got to be banned.
That the ex-Mackham guy,
Quinn.
Guy Mowbray.
Oh.
He was doing the commentary, I think.
Well,
Wait, he is
on
still-
NBC they were saying like, it's a ban all day. He's lucky to be on the pitch.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, Sky on. Who was it? The commentators?
After-
When it went back to the studio after the game,
Oh, they were nearly-
they picked up on
they
it
did
straight
straight
away.
Well, they asked him about it in his interview, didn't they?
They asked him and they asked Houghton as well.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Houghton actually because he tried handling himself really well and then they pinned him straight away with that. And he's probably thinking.
He answered it well though. To be fair,
He's
What
a
did he
good
say?
bloke. He's a good bloke.
He didn't comment to say that he'd seen it or not. He's just said that if it's happened, he's not that kind of player. It's not in his character and that kind of thing. But he did.
It clearly is.
He
It's
blatantly
because
did it, yeah.
10 minutes before that he squared up to Yedlin because Yedlin put a challenge in. He squared up
he
to him.
did.
Well, if you know, a natural reaction, if you put your foot down, you think to yourself, hold on, there's something strange underneath me. That doesn't feel.
You would
like
turn
the
around and
floor.
have a little look, wouldn't you?
You'd look down, wouldn't you? You wouldn't then suddenly step over it, walk to the other side, and then just carry on with your little stroll.
The thing is,
You'd go, I don't know, I've stood on something here. Oh, sorry about that.
If you see it from behind, you can just see that
He gets his balance, then
gets
stamps,
his balance
doesn't
and
he?
plants it
Yeah,
straight away.
absolutely.
It's in real time. I honestly thought he was trying to step over him, and he did actually hit his leg. But then when I seen the replay, I was like, no, he's meant that. He knows exactly what he's doing.
I recorded it
I
straight
don't know
up.
why people do it. How do they not know they're not going to get caught now?
It's ridiculous.
Man.
It's because they're thick, man. That's why.
Ah, yeah, they are.
Like I recorded straight away and I put it on Twitter, and about half an hour later I got an email off Twitter saying this video has been removed for copyright restrictions.
Oh.
But
Can you use your own personal account for that, please? I don't want to be associated with these illegal tweets that you keep putting out.
these dead dads.
Did you hear that outside?
No.
Didn't sound good. It's not a gunshot like that.
It's just let it drive
There was
by.
an armed robbery.
Somebody
last week.
putting windows out.
Oh, there was
There's
a
an
car
armed
upside
robbery
down.
outside last week.
We're at the post office.
Aye, across the road.
There's a car upside down, man.
This is a lovely neighbourhood, honestly. Great pub, very quiet. No, never any bother.
Got bars on the windows.
That's why we put the flag up.
Sorry, Katie.
Yeah, so Stamp, he did get banned in the end.
the Brighton fans again were up in arms. Aye.
You're not
It's an
that type of
absolute
player. It doesn't
travesty.
matter if he's that type of player. He clearly did it.
They don't even know who he is. I don't even think someone could spell his name. And they were on Twitter going, "You're a lovely guy, and I'd like to sleep with your daughter and all sorts of stuff." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I'd like you to lick your bum hole.
What now?
What happened?
Now, come on.
What generation is he?
We'll have none of these homophobic comments either.
That wasn't homophobic.
Because that's the other thing. What, licking men's bumholes isn't homophobic?
Who said it was a man talking? Maybe it was a woman talking to a man?
That sounded like a man's voice to me.
How many men do you know that talk like this?
Quite a few. Most of them are Brighton fans. Allegedly.
I was actually reading some of the tweets in that type of voice. I was like reading what they were saying. I was like, "Oh, you're not that type of voice."
Shit. Pathetic. But that was the other thing that the Brighton fans were reporting Newcastle fans for. Homophobic comments. We're apparently all homophobic. We're all racist.
Oh, racist for now?
And we all hate Knockout because his dad died. So where to go? There were 3 things that they were picking up on.
I'm not laughing.
There was one bloke. I'm sure you bloody replied to him off here, like retweeted it or something. But he must have been going through every single person's tweet and picking up on the smallest little thing. And then
I did
commenting
retweet someone,
going into I don't know, Hampshire police or whoever it is down there, and copying them in. Look at this racist tweet.
Who was doing that?
Just some Brighton kid.
Oh, I thought you meant Knockout, wasn't it? Finding them, and then I was thinking, what?
That's just what he does. It was just Sunday afternoon after the game.
Some Brighton fan. But they were up in arms that this had happened to them.
They're a morning bunch, isn't it? That's what it is.
They're not used to it. That's the.
Well, I said last season they got run of the green. They were the cat that got the milk last season. Everything went their way, and now that they're in the Premier League, they're not used to it. The things going against them, and I think toys out the pram.
There's a lot of clubs probably think we're like that on Twitter when look at these stamps and high kicks. Like the last few weeks,
yeah,
that Mbemba head kick got shown. How many times on Twitter? And probably fans from afar think, "God, there was moan at referees against them." We obviously think the same about Brighton. But there's probably a bit of truth in all of it, really. I mean, at the end of the day, they won the game, and I was so annoyed though because I honestly thought that was the type of game where we should be winning, man. We should be able to do them, man.
But like I said, when you expect us to win and we should be going and doing it, it's when we come unstuck.
There was a few bad performances, wasn't it? Really, I wouldn't say really bad.
I wouldn't say anyone had a bad performance. It was very average, wasn't it? It was
nobody I thought it was
a very tired performance and looked knackered. The players had blown out the horse. That wasn't homophobic either.
It didn't get going until we fell behind, and then it was like, Adam, we need to actually try here now.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
So,
right, moving on.
That was quick.
I know. Liverpool.
Sunday.
You done an interview for Liverpool TV?
I did, yes.
How did that go?
Alright, as far as I'm aware. Haven't seen it.
The bloke sending me the things over apparently.
Well, actually, apparently me.
Any tough questions?
No, it was mainly about kind of Rafa and what's going on with your Rafa and what we thought of him, what he'd brought to the club, what it meant to have him here, kind of the impact that he'd had. What about if he'd walked away in the summer and that kind of thing?
Did you say it would be fucked?
Well, pretty much, I
think you're sort of finding now, I think, it's just how important he is, aren't you? I mean, with all these takeover rumours and everything, man. Just he is the absolute catalyst of all of it, and he's the man, like.
The glue.
He is. 100% he is. He really is.
Sniff and glue. Don't condone that either.
Put the light on again, please. Nah, he is the glue. He is, definitely is.
The glue.
The glue in the club.
It's unbelievable how much he is, to be honest. More than I think any man could have been. There's only Bobby Robson or Keegan I thought would have this effect, if you know what I mean. And he's just got that persona, hasn't he? And the thing that I really gets it for me is that, and something I mentioned in the interview, is that he never stops.
Yeah.
Even in the moments when we score, he's still on the touchline. He's not celebrating. He's busy organising again. What are you doing? Screw your head down. Do we know what we're doing from this kick-off and stuff like that? He never switches off. Never stops.
He loves it though, doesn't he?
He
just loves football, doesn't he?
He's just football man.
I got his the book about when he won the Champions League for Liverpool. I got that book. I think I put it on Twitter, and in there the first chapter's about the night they won it. Before it gets on about how he won it and all that. But anyway, he says after he won it, like 48 hours later, while the players said he was back at the training ground working on next season. He just won the Champions League 2 days ago, and he was back in his office in Melwood,
he's just so focused.
He's so focused.
To win the Champions League with that team as well.
one of the greatest nights ever, wasn't it?
It was a piss-poor Liverpool team that was playing as well.
Dreadful, aye. But again, he's doing kind of what he's doing
now
with us.
Yeah.
We've got a poor team, but he sets them up in such a way that...
Organisation, isn't it? I mean, you look back over the years at our defence and you just... even when we were at the top of our game, we still had a shocking defence. But, really, we've got not a fantastic bunch of players that are playing across there, but he's got them playing out of the skin.
And they all play for each other.
Just drills them.
They all cover each other as well. And the prime example of that was Yedlin.
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
Against Liverpool.
Mind that... probably being a bit harsh, I think he was having to do two jobs because Richie kept getting dragged inside.
Yeah.
And wasn't tracking back with his man as much as he should.
Do you think Yedlin plays... I mentioned it at the Brighton game, but again on Sunday, he gives their left back with Marino a lot really in that game. So much room, he took so far. And he must be getting told to do it, don't get us wrong. But I'm telling you, if you watch him next time, he's almost where Lascelles should be. That's how close he is to the centre half. Yeah. And they were almost allowing them to just attack down the left, as if to say. So
he's constantly running.
And he has to run out to their left. To their left. So far inside, Marino was getting the ball so many times in good areas. Never done anything with it. Don't get us wrong. I don't know if that to try and make it compact, and he knows that Rafa knows he's got the pace to get out there when he needs to. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But for me, I just feel sometimes he's so far inside, tucked in. It's just inviting them to play a crossfield ball to that side all the time.
And again, it's the same because that space is in front of him because Richie's even further, and it invites the team to play it into there.
Every time. And Brighton was the same. Brighton, they just hammered were down that side of the field. But he did very well on Sunday, though.
Yeah,
he was fantastic.
I'm not sure what was it. Salah that was through on goal, and
he came
Yedlin just appeared from nowhere.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Mine wasn't a criticism of Yedlin. I just meant, is that a tactic maybe we're playing? It wasn't a criticism on him, sorry. I just meant, watch it the next time. I just feel he's very tucked in. Maybe it's something they're working on or whatever.
I think that could have possibly been his best game in Newcastle shirt.
To be fair, it's against the best opposition as well that he's probably facing Newcastle shirt, because a lot of it's been Championship, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And he's never really been truly tested.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's had Mane. He had Mane for 20 minutes in the swap with Salah for the bit. The swap.
Well, they kept changing most of the game, kept swapping position and stuff like that.
And he dealt with. But and to be fair, Manquillo, I thought he did
well as well.
He was shaky on the ball. I felt on the ball he was quite shaky, but God offered no problems. He never got beat once.
He looked good going forward as well.
So it's. And again, we've filled that left back position so well. No matter who's came in, if it's Manquillo or it's Mbemba or whatever we've done, it's worked. It has worked.
It was a bit of a surprise for me that Mbemba had been kind of left out.
He must have picked up an injury, has he?
I think pace. I think he was worried about pace.
The only thing I can think is that he was expecting to.
He's very much horses for courses. I feel he'll set up a team individually for the opposition's. If he had a physical guy on the right, he would have played Mbemba, I believe. But because you've got Mane or Salah, who's very fast, he's played Manquillo.
I thought we'd done very well cancel the pair of them out of the game. To be fair,
didn't. I mean, they had early on. They had a couple of good chances, bar poor finishing from Liverpool. There could have been a couple up within probably the first 15 minutes.
The biggest one was Wijnaldum's, I thought, off the corner. He done really well, even at the post. What a flick to the post. And then it rolled across the line, and I thought, this is it.
Well, there was a couple
of the scramble? It was just a scramble all over.
Of scrambles, but
there was also that one, it might have been just after half time, where Clark miskicked it. Kicked it, and then Sturridge was one-on-one with Elliot, and Elliot done well. Done well, he filled the goal, didn't he?
That was a real heart in your mouth job when he missed that kick. I was like,
would that have put them 2-0 up?
Would have been 2-0. It would have been probably over. No, sorry, it was 1-1 at half time, wasn't it?
Yes, it was 1-1 at half time.
Of course it was. It would have been 2-1.
Of course, yeah.
Coutinho's goal, that was special.
Unreal.
There's a lot of people saying, criticising Elliot, saying, he should have done better there. I thought
Elliot
the
wasn't
speed that shot went on, he was full stretched.
My criticism was of the players facing him, because he's got 1 foot. You know he's got 1 foot, so why do you show him inside?
I think it was
block him off.
I think it was Marino and someone else.
It was only Shelby.
Was it just Shelby? Was it?
He let him go that way. He did put his leg out. I wouldn't say it was the most amazing of efforts, but
he showed him inside, and it was like
exactly what
you don't need to know football. If you see Coutinho play once, you know he's only got one peg. The other one's for standing.
How many times has he scored that goal? Let's be realistic. He scored it against City. He scored against Southampton.
The
same goal.
Then we'll go back to the Stoke game. And Shaqiri, that's what he does, and we're doing exactly the same with him.
I cannot understand how it's that difficult to. I mean, don't get us wrong, there's the odd time where the will shift it so fast. you just cannot physically get there. Like there is players, Coutinho was probably one of them where they could move the ball so fast. To me, that he didn't do it that quick. We almost just went, go inside.
Yeah.
We should be forcing him to go on the outside every time he gets it.
I can remember sitting there watching it, saying, show him out.
Aye, yeah.
Why are you sending him in that way?
And we didn't learn from it, really, we didn't even learn from it. He scored that goal and he had loads of opportunities again, but he didn't pull the trigger, or we did maybe block him a bit, but it was a really good strike, in fairness, it really was.
No, there was no...
As soon as it left his foot, like you knew where it was going, didn't you?
It just kind of looped up and down very quickly, and it was in. So it's he does that.
He does
that's what you get from him.
Well, I think Shelby's made up for that little flick, if we're going to say it, where he looked like he was going to try and do something with that pass through to Joselu.
It was unreal.
That was.
I mean, I said to you after the game, like,
I'm sure he was in his own half when he passed it.
A few times he was. He had 4 in front of him. He had the 2 centre halves, obviously, and he had Henderson and someone else closing him down. And to find that, there's no one else could have done it that we have.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mourinho did it a few weeks back.
No, not with his right foot, he wouldn't know. No, I just think like.
Oh, it was.
He's
I mean, again, that was a surprise that he came in, kind of after, and I know Hayden probably hasn't been playing as good as he could have been, but I don't know, going with Marino and Shelvey in there, it just seemed a little bit risky.
Brave
for him.
Certainly brave.
Yeah.
Against a team like them.
But
you know what I mean?
Fair play to him, he was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
He had a good game. He did have a very, very good game.
And I cannot say that lightly. It pains us to say it, but he was fantastic.
He played some great passes. He played a lovely one out with Yedlin. We had a good opportunity from it, actually. Just as soon as said something, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he said something very good after the game. He was saying that like he's the type of midfielder that he'll not have 100% passing rating at the end of the game. He'll try 20 passes and maybe only 8 will come off.
Yeah.
But every pass he tries is trying to create something.
Well, rather than trying to put one on the front foot.
He hit one of the ones where he was like basically just near the left back position and pinged it to the opposite corner.
That's the one
again.
I was on about. It was amazing. It was like a fizz ball. It was just so good. You know what I mean?
The last time he pulled one of them, what was it? Villa?
Well, West Ham gets talked a lot. That one against Yamat, which was amazing. But, in the Championship, he was doing them for fun because they were giving him the time.
He had loads of time, didn't he?
But I think in the Premier League with Marino, because obviously he's very good technically as well, you cannot man mark both. Like, because that's what they were doing. They were just sitting someone on Shelvey. So if someone sits on Shelvey now, then Marino will just do that job.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what's
you're
really
right.
good.
I've never thought about that before, but you bang on there.
Yeah, it worked. It worked very,
it's
very
going to
well.
be literally impossible to mark both of them out of the game.
If you mark Marino, you'll get Shelvey will do it. So it's fantastic for us. I think it's brilliant.
I thought Marino did quite well because he seemed to drop back quite a bit, then just pass his balls like that way, and he's the amount of balls he intercepts is unbelievable. He just reads the ball and the game so well, man.
So there was a stat, I don't know if it was Bet365 or someone shared it anyway, and it was that I think he might be in the whole Premier League, he's won the most tackles in the opposition's half or something, or interceptions in the opposition's half, and I think I've spoken about it before. It's not something I would expect from it. When we signed him and I seen him play, I thought, he's going to be a nice little pretty baller, but he's not frightened to get stuck in, like. And
he was good. Again,
very clever reading the game and that,
And Richie as well. Richie had a fantastic game. I think he got man of the match.
He did get man of the match.
Which
I didn't think
he played well. I would have gave it to Shelvey.
See, I would have given it to Yedlin.
Yedlin or Shelvey for me personally. But again,
but
it's nice that we had 3 players.
Richie did have a good game.
Excellent.
Joselu's goal.
Beautiful, amazing finish, wasn't it?
If it wasn't for that was not going in the goal. That he just took too much time, in my opinion.
I think the problem what he was doing is he was running on.
He was
and
waiting
for
the keeper
to commit to do something, and the keeper was staying up long, and I thought he's going to get tackled here. The other thing could have been is that he could have been brought down and got won a penalty.
Because the defender's going to come
from behind him and across, but he obviously just got that toe on it and it hit his foot, and I still thought it was going to trickle wide though, to be honest. I'm like waiting for it to go in like that.
And he followed that ball and he made sure that was going in the goal. Yeah. He watched it in.
But you know what it is, that's strikers need to score goals like that sometimes. It gets that monkey off his back. I'm not being racist there, just a bit that clear before we get wrong for that as well.
It's his Brighton fans, man. We're still paranoid. We're paranoid as hell.
He needs to just get over it. All the strikers say they need one to go in off the arse or off the shin or something like that. So hopefully that's that one, and he can now go on a bit of a bit of a run, because he's got everything in his game, bar that instinct,
cutting edge,
aye,
that finishing.
But then when he, when he first signed for Wayne, he scored that volley from the edge of the box and stuff like that.
Well, they were saying
whether he's not the time to think about it or something like that, and just hit his more instinct. I
like
Sissy.
In a way,
there's a lot of strikers like that. You give them time on the ball, and they just can't make up the decision and the mind up of what they want to do.
He's getting in the right areas.
Absolutely.
He's getting in the right areas. He suits the style that we play, definitely. And I think we're going to have to take the rough with the smooth. I think there's going to be times where he is going to miss 3 and 4. We might get beat 1-0 and we'll blame him. And there'll be weeks when he'll score. I think you're getting what you're getting for $5 million. He's not going to be
People used to complain the same, going back to Andy Cole. They used to complain about him that he would need 8 chances to score 1.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right. And I loved Andy Cole. But no, it is what it is. But it's, as you said, maybe it is that little bit of luck get him running now. He scored 2 when he scored against West Ham. So he scored 2 in 5 games or 4 games, whatever he's played. So fair enough.
I'd still stick with him.
Yeah,
he's got everything about him to be a good striker. He works hard. He does the unfashionable stuff, and I think that's what people don't appreciate about him. He'll run in the channels. He'll try and close down the centre defenders when they've got the ball.
He tirelessly works, like he really does.
Absolutely.
And the run for the goal, he stayed on side well, he bent his run well, and he's always willing to get in them areas, and there's not really much more you can ask for. Like,
it was poor defending by them. Just both of them straight up the middle. And
yeah, it was. A lot of other strikers might have just stayed, you know what I mean, alongside the centre half, thinking, well, Shelby's miles away, but he had the mind to make that run, and then obviously with Shelby's and Marino,
he knows that Shelby's got that ball in him.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
Gayle used to, in the Championship, would do that kind of movement, and Shelby would find him every time, type of thing. We scored a lot of goals like that. So no, it was, and it was nice to again show a bit of, because the old Newcastle would have went 1-0 down there and not come back.
Well, crumbled.
Even I sat there and went, I think that's it. Honestly, it's silly to say. And then we scored and went in half time. Coming good, you know what I mean? I was pleased.
I think the atmosphere helped a bit as well. It was. It did go a bit flat at times and stuff like that, but for the main, we were kind of up. I think when it went flat, there was, I can't remember what happened, because I think maybe it was a referee, because he was given some funny old decisions. I know
he was breaking play up so bad, like just every chance he got, he was breaking play up.
But I don't know, it was where we should have had maybe a blatant free kick or something like that, and then 2 minutes later he gave them a very soft one, and it just sent everybody wild, as it does, that bit of injustice, and I
was surprised at how bad Liverpool fans were, and I like Liverpool, and I honestly expected them to be singing all the time.
I only heard them after the score.
I did as well. Honestly, I was really surprised at that. Like
there was a fair few of them.
Full allocation. And I was expecting them to really make some noise, and they done out. I was surprised at that. Like I really was. There was one bit in the second half. I think it was the first maybe, where Henderson really lost it for a few minutes. Really, like, just started charging everyone down like he was at Shelby's face.
Well, you could see he was frustrated.
He wasn't happy at all. Like maybe because his performance was so bad.
Something kicked off in the middle of the pitch, and he was straight over at Shelby trying to wind Shelby up.
Oh God, was he not? And Shelby did mint for the first time. He went to go to him and then thought
he walked away, didn't he? But then I'm sure he went back.
Well, he might have. I think he went over. Was it not somebody? It might have been Marnie or somebody who was lying on the ground, and he was. I think Shelby went over to help Marnie up, and then Marnie all of a sudden started moving around.
He did.
Shelby was like, I haven't done anything, and then Henderson came over, and I was thinking, if you was trying to pull that against us, well, it's Newcastle, man.
Who was it that? Was that not? Did Marnie not kick Yedlin? Was it Yedlin who got kicked in the face?
I can't remember.
But then he.
Well, Yedlin's in the
who
water.
Was it? So one of their players, or was it? No, was it their right back? Kicked ours. It was Atsu.
Oh yes,
their right back kicked Atsu in the face, and then he knew that he'd kicked him, so he started chucking himself on the floor and rolling around and getting off that he was injured. That's when it was.
Then it all kicked off. Yes, that's right. Because again, I think what you said before, in that sort of that 5 minutes, there was a lot of crappy free kicks getting given and little things letting go, which we were known about, and then that happened, and then everyone was up by then, like, obviously. And I think Kris has said it many times before, sometimes a bad referee decision really gets the better of our fans. We all of a sudden just start kicking off.
It's normally things like if somebody puts in a good tackle or hits somebody or as you say, something goes against you and you feel that anger and frustration. But
absolutely,
But certainly helped.
The second half, I didn't. It's funny, I know it's easy to say this after the game. At the time when Coutinho was picking it up in certain areas, I was a bit nervous. But realistically, other than that Sturridge chance, I can't remember many that they had.
They didn't.
They didn't have anything. I didn't think from
I've been saying it since the start of the season. I'm quite confident with the defence. Like, I know Clark, they kicked there. Yeah. But that's the first mistake he's made this season, and
I think they
didn't capitalise on it, so that's forgotten in my books.
I think it was 4 good chances that they had, and I think this is Liverpool's frustration this season, is that they're just not taking the chances.
They had the more clear-cut chances, and Klopp got on this at the end, didn't he?
Mistakes or things like that, or where
they were very slow in possession, which surprised me. They were very slow. There's a lot of times where the back four were just passing it back and forwards,
especially for the amount of pace that they've got in their team as well, especially up front.
I know we were sitting back deep and all the rest of it, but they were just passing it so slow. I was thinking, you're playing it in our hands here, because we're quite happy with you doing what you're doing here.
Yeah. What do you think of Sturridge's performance? I thought he was utter garbage.
Dreadful. Really, really bad. Shadow of the player he was Suarez and all that rest of it.
He's so overrated. I know he doesn't get mentioned much anymore, but so poor.
I don't know. But
were you worried when you seen
it? He's when he's fit and he's on his game, he's a
but when is he
fit
these days? Was he fit against us?
His problem.
Because he didn't look like he was trying.
Were you pleased when you seen him on there?
You can put that against our performances and stuff like that. We didn't let them really play in midfield. So, and as a striker, like we've said many times, if you don't get the ball and service into you, you're never going to score.
Yeah, I suppose.
Some of his older player, his first touch was poor, which I was normally when I've watched Sturridge previously, his touch is like glue, like when it gets played into his feet. A lot of times that wasn't. I thought Lascelles done very well against him. Actually, to be fair, I thought Lascelles was a great again.
And the only player that was worse than him was Oxlade-Chamberlain when he came on. It was absolutely shocking.
Atrocious.
What has happened to him since he's gone there?
Oh man, so bad.
Terrible. I thought Henderson was really. I'm not just saying that because of the Sunderland thing. I thought he was really bad. Henderson, I never seen him in a tackle. Every pass he did was backwards or sideways. Again, I think I've seen a stat on the internet saying something like 0 chances created, 0 tackles.
Well, he's just like a little bell in that group on the Florida State, isn't he? I can't
he tries to make everything look hard or look good. Like he does like a 5-yard pass and he tries to put this whip on it and make it look good. And it's like it's a 5-yard pass, man. There's nothing in it. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, he's just full of self-importance.
He
thinks he's better than what he actually is.
Liverpool and England's captain, yeah, man.
But I don't think there's many Liverpool fans must be happy with him being a captain. Well, not even captain, just in the team. Every chance should be ahead.
No, I think that over the few seasons that he's gone there, he's done well for them. So most Liverpool fans do rate him.
Well, fair enough.
But he was.
It's a small sample size that I see him, and I don't watch it that much. But when I do see him, he doesn't do anything that I don't think Chan would do, or perhaps many other players would do. He done nothing on Sunday anyway. Back that game.
But I was also surprised that when Wijnaldum didn't turn up. I know it was away from home, but really it was like
that's what I was
like a home game for him, wasn't it?
Going to break it,
there's a lot of people saying, he's away from home, he'd be shouting. I thought, but maybe this is a game where you might think
he's at home.
I'm kind of at home, like I'm at my holiday home.
Mind you, he was that far off, really.
But that's all he done.
But that wasn't.
That is all he done.
Wasn't he?
He was missing.
And again, the stats were the same. He was giving away possession. He made no critical passes or anything like that.
He never won a challenge, never won a header from what I've seen. I watched him quite a bit, actually thinking. Going back to what he said, he's never scored an away goal. I thought, but he's played here before. It's a home. He's scored here before.
It is an away
game. Scored a hat-trick there before.
Exactly, and he done absolutely nothing. Just not.
Well, at the start of the game, people were booing him as well, which.
I don't have any bad things to say about Wijnaldum. Nothing, because
he didn't want to. He wasn't the one like Sissoko who came out and
that's what
I'm away.
You've got to compare those two players because it was the same transfer.
He just shut his mouth and got on with it. Mm-hmm. If he goes, I go.
Yeah. That's what he probably was behind the scenes privately.
100%.
But he wasn't public, was it? About it, and to be fair, he tried. He did, because I think it was Doncaster over there, and he was warming up on the bench, and he came on off the bench, and we were singing Gini Wijnaldum, we want you to stay, and then they were saying about Mr. Sissoko, we want you to leave, and to go. And even when Wijnaldum was laughing, he was clapping the crowd.
Well, it just shows you the difference in character, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
He seems like a decent bloke, Wijnaldum, and Sissoko just seems like a massive twat.
You can't knock him for if you're a player that's playing there and Liverpool comes knocking on your door and says, I want to buy
you better yourself.
And he's got no loyalty to the shirt. You know what I mean? He left the club he was at to just come here for the Premier League thing, and he's not going to stay with us. He was never going to stay with us.
Newcastle was always a stepping stone.
Aye. It
always.
Was. Yeah, it was. Aye.
Especially in the era of Baron.
We've got to change that opinion though, for the players, that when they come here, that that they want to stay, but we'll only do that by backing them,
investing in the team, and
making the team better, getting them. Rafa's got a big part to play in keeping them happy, keeping us successful.
Well, during a break, this leads into this quite well. Jose Enrique did an interview with the Chronicle. As far as I know, it was with the Chronicle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the Chronicle just picked the quotes up or
it
was with the Chronicle.
It was with the Chronicle, yeah.
And he came out and said, the reason I left Newcastle is I didn't want to leave Newcastle. He went, but Liverpool came knocking on my door, and I knew for fine well that they weren't going to invest in the team, despite them saying that they were going to. And I came to the club with all these promises saying that we're going to challenge for European places, blah, blah, blah. And that money was never, ever invested.
Well, it was in the summer when he went. He basically came out and said that himself, is that the club's not going anywhere because they'd shipped out all of the.
And he was right.
The players.
100% right.
Yeah.
I know he's had so much shit, but he's right.
He saw exactly what we knew was going to happen, and he came out and said it.
But we don't like other people saying it against, which is the crazy thing.
It's a funny one. I remember Cabaye went on strike with Lille or wherever it was he was at. He handed in transfer request to come to us. Yeah. When the player does it to come to us, fans love it. He let him go. He wants to play for us. Cabela, I think, wasn't happy because they wouldn't let him go at first. But then when they do it to us, all of a sudden he's the worst ever.
Well, when Arsenal were after him, wasn't it? He went on strike then.
Yes.
Cabaye.
Yeah. I think Debussy was similar. Like again, Debussy wanted to join his mate. Cabaye over here.
Where's Debussy now?
Dead.
He's still at Arsenal, isn't he?
No way he is.
Yeah, he's still at
Arsenal. He's not God's dad.
Oh, hey. Shots fired. That's a source. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. But anyway. Well, wait, I was just,
Where's the switch?
I know, I didn't mean that.
So we'll just leave that on constantly.
I just leave it on. Right. I didn't mean that. Anyway, back to Debussy. No, back to the game. Second half, we've talked a bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few Liverpool fans that were upset that they'd only got a draw, but I don't, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a Newcastle fan. I don't think they did enough to win it. Yeah. Yes, they had the chances, but they didn't take them. Had they've taken them, they did have clear-cut chances.
Would you say, if roles reversed, same performance, but it was the other way around, would you say we should have won that game?
I don't think we've done enough to win it.
Aye, because if I was Liverpool on that performance, I think them deserve to win. That's my opinion anyway. But
you probably say they deserve to win because of the goal that we got and the fact that Sturridge missed that sitter
and Gini hit the post
and that scramble.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's them chances, but you've got to take those chances.
Well,
they didn't do anything other than that.
Mind you, Diarmi
on another day, all four of them could have went in.
Yeah, you're right. Diarmi did get a good chance at the end from the corner.
That was the only chance that we had in the second half, from what I remember. But that was a real good chance, It really was. Something I wanted to. What was your opinion on Perez?
Oh, awful! Absolutely awful!
Now, man.
Absolutely awful.
Because
he was shocking. He was absolutely shocking.
Mark, just tell me what you really think.
Well, everything he did there was what I was doing at the match, right? And then I tried to be sort of, right, what did he really do? And a lot of people, from me mates on Facebook, said the same. Off the ball, he's disciplined, he presses it quite at the right times.
When was he pressing?
No,
I was screaming at him to press the ball.
I think he was pressing. He wasn't doing
so sometimes he won't press all the time because I feel if you do that, if you do that every time,
he wasn't even closing down angles.
The shape's done.
He wasn't even closing down angles.
He wasn't doing much with the ball, but off the ball, I think he was grafting.
When they had the ball, and when you're playing in that position, you've got to stop, cut off a pass. He just let them have it, and he would stroll along, cut off an angle, pressure him. Don't give him the time.
I do agree. Sometimes even I was shouting, going, "Well, press him then. There's nothing to lose. Where's he going to go? It's Matic, man. He's not going to do a betting power ball, is he? What's he actually going to do to you?" But anyway, on the ball, if he's our number 10, he has to offer more than just pressing the full.
Did you notice a lot of the time when we were defending, he pushed up as the striker and Joselu was running back? in the job you would think Perez would be doing.
Sometimes.
Is that technical, or is that just...
That might just...
Is that just Joselu
Joselu doing a great one. Joselu lost the ball quite cheaply, really.
Is it where you got on the left
back
position?
Exactly.
Brilliant. Really
and what does Perez do when that happens? Sits on the floor in a huff.
But again...
If you lose the ball, or you give it away, or the ball gets passed by you, you try and get it. You try and stop the ball. You'll go after it. You'll do something. What you won't do is just stand there like a prick.
I thought he was terrible. That's honestly,
he was shocking.
And I've never seen him play really well yet. And he's still getting 90 minutes every game. He got 89 and a half on Saturday.
Well, even Mark Douglas came out this week and tried to bloody... Why? Because everybody in the world is asking this. How is Perez still
there,
playing in that team? 90 minutes every single
day. He got a really good ovation when he came off. Like, I was shocked, I thought I didn't stand up, and I normally do. I thought, I'm not even going to bother.
Was that not just a stand ovation because he actually had been taken off?
Well, I was expecting a cheer. I was honestly expecting...
Did he get taken off?
No, he didn't actually get taken off, did he?
It was 89 minutes he came off, man. He came off.
Did he?
Patted a boot. Because Diarmi came on for him. And then Diarmi, the very first touch, he got in the box and won a corner. And the corner come in, he should have scored. Well, he had a good opportunity. Perez wouldn't have done anything.
Yes, Perez did. Because he started walking off the pitch, didn't he, when the corner?
And then he was saying, come on, jog on, type of thing, blah, blah. But anyway.
But when Gale came on, I cannot for the life of me understand how Perez stayed on that pitch.
Yes, I was the same as you. I was the same as you. Because I thought Gale, if Perez is on the field to press these centre-backs, that's all he's doing.
Yeah.
Gale will do that for you. Because as soon as he came on, because he only had a minute to go or 10 minutes to go, whatever it was, he'll do that chasing for you. And I kept saying it repeatedly.
He's not going to do any less graft than what Perez is.
Could Gale not do that graft?
Could anybody do any less graft than what Perez does?
Really, calm down, man.
But when he gets it, man, honest to God, it's just... I don't even get excited now, and that's a sad point. We're in a good position, I don't even bother getting excited, because I know he's going to lose it.
Since Dummett isn't playing, is Perez a new scapegoat?
Oh, absolutely for me.
Well, some people say he's a scapegoat.
You just want someone to blame, don't you?
That scapegoat means it's
he's the only one that really annoys us.
Aye. He's not a scapegoat because we're being nasty and like,
you changed your tune, you were just defending a second ago.
Why you get so frustrated? It's like going back to bloody Sissoko. You get so frustrated because you know he's capable of more.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
It's just...
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I get frustrated that he stays on the pitch for so long. Yeah. That's the only way. I didn't mind him maybe starting. I do a little bit. But if he starts him, fair enough. But after an hour, and I'm watching, I'm thinking, how can he be standing down there thinking he's doing really well?
Every week when I see a player warming up, I think, surely that's Perez going off. Then every single time it's not.
It has to be. Because he's the only one that's not to do anything.
I thought the Hayden one... Who did Hayden come on for? Was it Marino?
Did Hayden come on?
Well, that's it. I did think Marino went off, and Marino had been my best player until that point.
I thought he was knackered. I thought that. But I did think maybe this might be for Perez, and then we'll just sit with Hayden, Marino, Shelby, because
just hold
protect a bit, and maybe let one at Shelby maybe bomb on a bit, And then Perez was still on, and I was like, And people, there's a guy who sits behind me, he hates Perez. That Spanish bastard still on. He must be sucking Rafa off or something. He's really giving it.
Everybody sitting around was... couldn't believe he was still on the pitch.
I couldn't either. I swear to God.
Every week I do it right. I'll look over I'm reading Adam and they'll go, who do you reckon's going off? I went, well, surely it has to be Perez. Every week he's still on the pitch.
Every other person in the ground is like, Perez has to be going off.
I'll be honest.
And Rafa's just like, I'm fucking with you. There was no chance he's going off.
There was hundreds sitting in front of me, and I didn't even look at it. I was just looking at that number on the board. Come on, number 7.
Waiting.
On. And then he turned it on, and I seen everyone's head go, like look down when it wasn't his number, and I was just like, how is he still on this pitch? Like? But then I put it on Facebook saying, blah blah blah, and I put at the bottom, I don't know how Perez gets a game every week. And then some people had commented saying, I think we're using him as a scapegoat. He works really hard off the ball. He might work hard off the ball, but he's number 10.
Yeah.
He has to do more than just work hard. Surely he's got to have some quality. You know what I mean?
But he doesn't.
He has to offer more than just working hard.
If you're in there, you've got to pick up the ball from midfield and then turn and get where on the attack or something like that, or get it and attack yourself. But most of the time, it bypasses him.
I put my hand. He got the ball out wide. And I thought, hey, I think he actually beat a man. He's done really well. Cross went off for a goal kick. It was just like one of them that just sails in the Gallowgate. And I was just like, look, everyone behind was like, get that bastard! I was just straight away on him. I never shouted quite that aggressively, but I was thinking in my mind, Rafa, surely now, you've got to take him off.
That was the only thing for me that really does. I just can't get my head around it. Is Rafa and his substitutions?
Yeah, I kind of get it.
It's as if he watches
different
game.
It's true. I know.
To be fair, like, he sets a team up really, really well.
100%.
Every player has a job, and they know that job. There's times in the past where we've had players and they've run about like fucking headless chickens, isn't there? Like, all over the shop. Yeah, and every single player, you're confident they know what they're doing on that day. Right? Apart from Perez. But like,
he just wanders around.
I'm with you. Like, the substitutes a lot of the time, you're scratching your heads. Like Diarme comes on like nearly every game, and I'm thinking, what is he going to offer? To be fair, like,
but he offers more in my eyes when he comes on than Perez does, because at least
I'm seriously starting to question.
He will try.
I definitely think. I'm not saying Diarme could start a game. I think he's more impact. I think because I just don't think he has the gas in the tank to go 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think 20 minutes to go. Him for Perez, a bit of physicality, because we're really lacking that, you know. Because again, I couldn't believe it. He took Joselu off. Elliot was just kicking that ball as hard as he could. He had no intention. The centre halves go nice and short. I'll have it. They've got no intention of going short. And Elliot will go, no, up we'll go. And he was kicking it. And the people jumping for the ball was Atsu, Richie, Perez, and Gale. So basically 4 pint glasses. And they're never going to win a header, man. So there's never ever going to win a header. So bring Diarme on or maybe Mitrovic for Joselu just to give us.
Mitrovic wasn't even on the bench, mate.
Sorry, what I mean is,
we'll get to that later.
What I'm trying to get
at is still suspended?
No, that was his first game back.
But what I'm trying to get at is, I can't say he's watching the same game as us, and Elliot was just pumping it. And then he took off Joselu for Gale.
There wasn't many headers Joselu was winning against.
Might have been because they're big lads and all, you know what I mean? And then he brings on Gale, who hasn't got a chance in getting. And that's not Gale's fault. I just mean he hasn't got a hope. You know what I mean? I wouldn't win a header against any of the bastards either, but I don't know. And Elliot's kicking was dreadful from goal kicks as well. He's pointing where he wants it to go, and he was kicking it nowhere near.
He always hooks it, slices it, doesn't he?
Slices it every time.
You think a player would have like, do you know when you like playing golf and you've got the wind coming, you think like players would have thought, well, I can't kick it where I want to kick it, so I'll kick it over there a little bit. I know, and it'll probably go where I want it to go. For the wind.
Elliot just smashes it. And I wouldn't even stand where he's telling us to. I wouldn't do it.
What I would do.
There was a few times where he threw it out.
Oh, he's a brilliant.
Pinpoint.
If I was Elliot, I'd be going to sell something. Come here, and I'd just chip it up to his head so he could head it back to us, and I could catch it. And I'd just fucking hide it every single goal kick.
But we do that a lot where we'll go short and we've got no intention really of going short. And then
but if you look, nine times out of 10, that's what every team does with these days.
It's still
short. Because you build possession rather than pinging it.
I would much rather go short. I honestly would much rather go short. But I agree, maybe we haven't got the most comfortable centre halves on the ball.
Shelby was doing that a lot last season, wasn't he? Where he was going short for a goal kick.
Comes and plays bloody on the toes of the centre.
But what frustrates me is when someone comes short for the goal kick, then you just end up back to the keeper anyway. Then he still lumps it forward, doesn't he? Like every single time.
We did that a few times.
It goes out well through.
Clark then passed it back, and it was like, well, what was the point of that? Because now you're just going to lump it up the field. Why didn't you just take the goal kick?
I don't quite get that. Any of that.
That frustrates us.
So that comes from their two centre forwards or whoever's playing up front pressing the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Gets you back to Perez. Why doesn't he do it?
Do you also think that we need to learn on throw-ins? Do you think we need to work on throw-ins?
I think every single footballer needs to work on throw-ins.
There was a definite foul throw.
How bad's everyone? No one can take a throw-in anymore.
What I mean
by they're trying in such a hurry to do it.
So many times they'll throw it and then they'll try and give them it back. And as soon as it touches his boot, it's a throw into them. And it's every single time. It's a 4 or 5 yard pass, man.
Throw-ins are ridiculous.
I'm getting too negative here, so
absolutely, just throw-ins are ridiculous in general because there's not many teams getting an advantage from a throw-in. Like Stoke in the old days with the lap they used to, but like a throw-in, like you say, it just ends up like someone lumping it somewhere.
Unless you get a little flick on behind, isn't it?
Well, it's like I was left aside down the line. No, I'm going to pass him. He's there.
Nice right.
Down the line business used to just. Oh God.
Down the line, so I can just hit it off his shit out.
Down the line for what? So there's 100 men down there. I'll just pass to the one that's open, please. But Yedlin used to do that quite quick. In the Championship, used to throw Battle of Cells. But I know I had more time in the Championship because people.
If I remember right, the derby, it was a Yedlin throw-in, which helped us score. If I remember right, the Mitrovic goal. Oh, right. I'm sure he buggered up with a throw-in.
Did he?
Was it a foul throw?
No,
then we got the throw in. I'm sure I like Yedlin done a foul throw, then we got the throw. I might have made that up, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
I can't remember. I remember Mitrovic. You mean the Mitrovic goal? Sorry. Is that
in the derby?
The last one.
Obviously, Yedlin was playing for something.
I just remember Mitrovic just got mental and getting knocked out.
And that fat lad coming on.
I just remember that. I remember that loads, and I remember him, like, when Rafa had that picture, when Rafa's got him, you're not going back on, he's like,
his eyes are
it's so good.
It's so good.
No, he was, in my eyes, he was a hero that day, Mitrovic, and still hated, but never mind anyway, that's a different argument.
You still hate Mitrovic?
No, I says I love Mitrovic, and he was a hero in my eyes from that day, but he's still hated by a lot.
He's still.
Which I find crazy. But anyway,
were you quite shocked to see him not even on the bench?
Oh, absolutely. When he was back from suspension, I thought, oh, well, great, he's on the bench. Happy days, you know what I mean? I really thought he would be.
I can't remember who it was.
Especially against them two in bloody...
Someone put out on social media, I can't remember who it was, and said, it's his own fault he's not on the bench. I thought, it's his own fault he done that elbow. It wasn't really an elbow, but that's his own fault, and that's his downfall. But for Shelby to get banned and then come straight into the... Not into the squad.
Nah, he didn't.
Squad?
He came in the squad.
Yeah.
He didn't start in the 11, but he was in the squad. So, like, how can we judge those two as separated?
Oh, yeah, I'm right, I'm with you.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I agree totally.
Mitrovic is always a good option, no matter who you're playing. He's always a good option.
Was there not an underlying reason? Not behavioural, I don't mean that. I mean, like, was he not having a niggle?
He's went off.
He's gone off with Serbia, hasn't he? So, you can't imagine anything being up.
That is just true. Well, I can't remember the bench at the top of my head. I don't know. Would he want to put two strikers on the bench? Because you would have had to have Gale and Mitrovic then. That's what I mean. He's not then lacking in another area of
protection. But then we're going to get this every week.
Well, maybe.
It depends on who you're playing, because he's done before he's had them both on the bench.
So who's coming up next? Southampton away?
Southampton.
That'll be Gale, you would have thought then.
No, I think you'll sit with Joselu. I think
Gale will be on the bench.
Oh, sorry,
if it's Gale with Mitrovic, you would think Gale will be on the bench.
Because Lejeune's going to be on the bench, isn't he, obviously. Mbemba or Manquillo, sorry, is going to be on the bench. Your keeper.
It's like,
we're
at the point now where we can't even guess.
Because you don't know what Rafa's going to do.
Yeah, it's like before on McLaren and on Pardew, you could probably guess. Like, Pardew was always going to play three left backs, wasn't he?
Well, it's funny with Rafa, because I've said this loads of times. Joselu was getting that goal, and you would think, right now, this is, confidence. He'd probably drop him.
He'd take him off.
No, probably not play him.
He won't, because he'll keep him because he hasn't gone out on international duty. And what Rafa does after international duty, he drops those players that have gone.
Yeah. That's true.
That's what he normally does.
Especially ones that have travelled far.
If they've died.
Like, so he edges over on the stage.
Atsu hasn't gone. Atsu's injured, so he hasn't gone.
Well, Richie's pulled himself out of the Scotland squad
as
well, I think.
Has he?
Yedlin's away. He's the only one at the top of my head that I can think of.
He's in
obviously, you've got like Kieran Clark and Elliot that have gone. Anyone else?
Richie, as I say, I think I'm sure
Atsu's pulled out, hasn't he?
Atsu's injured,
Yeah.
So Marino did it on that. He's playing for under 21s. Did he go again? Under 23s.
They might have, like, I think he's in the squad. Like, I'm sure he's in the squad.
Actually, did he not get called up?
No,
to the first team.
Not to the first team. It was under 21s or 23s, whatever the fuck it's called.
But we could have been without Shelby this week as well.
What was he doing?
There was a lot of talk about him getting called up.
What, for jury service or something?
This is
in England.
He's not on the other side of the bench.
There was a lot of, a lot of commentators and pundits, especially after Sunday, were talking about him, saying,
he should. Fucking Harry Winks has made it.
Well.
And then he put a thing on Twitter where I wrote it out 3 times and deleted it every time. I thought I didn't want to put it on, but you all know how much I love Shelby, and I definitely believe he should play for England. Not now, but maybe someday, right? Go back. Well, I mean, like, more often. You got back that Tottenham game, right? Go on, after that game, the people said he shouldn't even wear the shirt again. He shouldn't play for us again. People were saying. Now I was saying things going, well, of course he should play for England. He gives us something different and all. No way, man. Like,
to be
even
fair,
the commentators, they were the same commentators saying he'll never make it. He's too hot-headed. And the same commentators are saying, I think.
Look at Dele Alli.
Oh well, exactly.
How can you change your mind after 90 minutes? Oh, he is, but.
I know what you're saying, if Shelby doesn't play for England, it doesn't bother me. It'll bother him. It'll be a personal goal of his.
The only reason
for me, I'm not.
I'd love him to play for. Well, that's one of these. I always think playing for England. If you play for us, then he might not want to go anywhere else ever because he thinks I'm playing for England. Happy days. I'm playing for England. Whereas, if he didn't ever play for England, he might think he may have to move to get that chance, get looked at. But then the other side of the coin is when he mixes with all these England guys, they might be like, I've heard rumours where they're like. They play with the rich boys and train. They're like, "What are you playing for that shite for?" Do you know what I mean? Type of thing. Like,
I think he's at an age now in his career where can you see him moving?
I think he'll only move if it's on our terms. Like Rafa doesn't want him.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll go. I'm gonna go leave.
And I don't think he'd move.
He's not that
money that he's on at this club.
Somebody's going to come in and go, "Oh, we need to get him." Like a Arsenal or Liverpool or Chelsea.
You can't imagine a club bigger than us coming in.
That's what I mean.
No.
He's not going to leave us to go and play for
again,
Everton or something like that.
Let's look at it. Newcastle are the team that's on the up at the minute. You would think that they're just growing like popularity no matter where we go. Like there's a lot of people taking notice of Newcastle United at the minute, and that's because of Rafa.
It is. I mean, if you look at teams like, I'm trying to think on the top of my head here. Like, I know we're ahead of them, but like West Ham or perhaps West Brom, for example. Like, I know you're probably all going to sit and go, right, well, a bit on West Brom, but they're a solid team. Like, you know, what I mean, they're never going to be.
They're a mid-table Premier League team.
Always. I can't. I'm not saying he'd want them, but I can't. Like Shelby going there. I think he like they're a club that is guaranteed to always stay up. They're never going to be in trouble. I still think we might be in trouble this season. I hope we're not, of course, but do you know what I mean? Like. But I don't know. I mean, he probably will never go unless it's on our terms, and we don't want him anymore.
He's on a decent wage here as well, so the other team would have to match that, wouldn't they? So,
which maybe no one would do, possibly.
You're probably right, mate. Shall we jump into the questions?
Aye.
If this works.
I feel like we're shirking a subject here that's been talked about all week.
Oh, the mate.
Oh, mate, there'll be a question. Don't you worry.
I'm gonna get like a little picture of her like this.
Oh, we should have. That's what we should have done. Why didn't no one remind us?
Who's that woman on your side of your bed?
Well, when I first read it, it was before the match when we're.
It was just before kick-off that it came out. I think it was George Colgan that released it.
So and when I read it, I went, why are we reading that about John Joe Shelby's wife? When I read it, I thought it said Amanda Shelby's at the game. I was like, it's a band? how come she's so rich, like?
It came from nowhere, like, but apparently she was at the Stoke game as well. It came from nowhere. We'll see.
I can't see all the big fuss about it, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Well, everybody's going on that she's, it's amazing, she's going to buy the club. That's it, we're now going to be like Man City and Chelsea, have millions to spend. Really? She's got 23 billion, which isn't even her money. It's a consortium or whatever.
That's if she's buying it. But
exactly.
What she normally does is represent people that want to buy it, doesn't she?
Is it not just is it that somebody's the bringing her in to try and get her on the market or something like that and drum up that bit of interest? But I don't know, because apparently she's a Liverpool. Did you not mention she just came to the match?
No, she was at a Stoke game though. Why would she go to 2 home games in a row?
Why was it never picked up against the Stoke game? Why was it never mentioned then? Look, I don't know what's she doing there.
That's pretty true, but there's probably a Liverpool person like that. I thought, why should she drive by Liverpool a couple of years ago? Why is she here now? That's why I'm sure she was at the Stoke game.
Because she's a Liverpool man.
Right.
If everybody knows who this person is, because I've never bloody heard of her, and I dare say 99% of people.
I hadn't until the other day, but obviously she was involved in the Man City buyout, wasn't she?
But,
I don't know, mate. Right. The optimistic G.
How many questions
loves
have you got this week?
Loves a question. He asks, can you just emphasise that we all love Marino? We love Marino.
We love Marino.
How much do you love Marino, Deka?
More than my lass.
More than your lass. Right, okay.
I love him more than your lass as well. Probably.
Right.
No, he's some boy, isn't he?
He also asked another question.
I like the way he gets his own pint and doesn't ask us if we want one.
Well, I had one already pre-bought. By myself.
Pre-bought pints, right? Is there a limit to how many questions we can ask?
Yes.
How many?
3.
3, or he gets another one then.
He's got one more. It better be a proper one this time.
This one is, if you had to be a fruit, what kind of fruit would you be?
Oh, for God's sake.
I'd be a pineapple.
A pineapple? Like Jason Lee?
Can't even think.
Remember him?
What would you be, Mum?
I would be a nectarine. I love a nectarine.
What would you be, Deka?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Banana.
Fucking no, you'd be a banana. Right, Papa Bless.
An emoji for that.
Also, he asks.
Put your teeth in, son.
Well, let's get this one.
Sorry, Papa.
Sorry, mate. Michael Cheatham, what's your thoughts on the drum being in the ground last week? Are you for or against it?
I didn't hear it, so I don't know where I was sitting.
I heard it like.
I could hear it. You know what? It
was one of them things where it started. I was like, is that the boards at the back?
No.
Then it went a bit more. Then it sounded more. The ball went. Nah, it's a drum.
I knew straight away that it was drum, and I was like,
did you have the drum?
Why on earth have we got a drum? And it was like, well, we've got one. But the most frustrating thing about that drum for me was whoever was playing it has got no fucking sense of rhythm.
Well, you were sitting in the Gallowgate, so you would have heard it
exactly,
a lot more.
And it was atrocious. If you're going to have a drum, which fine, if it's because it, I don't know whether it helped the atmosphere or not, but it just was in no time or rhythm or to anything that we were.
Well, it was his debut.
Singing.
It was
if you own a drum, if you own a drum, surely you know how to play it.
Well, I didn't think he's in the living room fucking banging away. So I love. No, I think I would give.
It was just so like the beat was just so random. It just didn't.
These are not drum happy people. Like, these do not like drums. Like for me, if it helps the atmosphere, I'll live with it. If it's not, bin it. Put it on fire.
For me, I don't know. It just. We're not used to it in English football. It's looked
right.
at
Well,
as
let's just say
Mickey Mouse kind of thing.
Any other English team that has a drum, we'd be the first people to take the piss out of them and call them tin pot, right? But because we've got a drum, right, and I'm not really for or against it. I couldn't really give a shit.
I'm really.
But the fact that we've got a drum now, we're forgetting that other English teams have gone. Dortmund's got a drum.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In English football,
it's like we're trying to justify having a drum. It's a fucking drum.
English football, it's just
You could get the fucking Salvation Army up there for all I fucking care.
But I'll be honest with you, I couldn't.
Everybody takes the piss out of the England band and bloody Portsmouth, because Portsmouth are probably the people that have had a drum for yon years.
And bells.
But you're not getting a bit desperate when that's what you're taking the piss out of, though. Some teams got a drum. Never fucking bothered, man. Not bothered if they've got a drum.
It doesn't bother me.
Right, if that drum is staying, please, Mr. Drum Keeper, whoever you are,
drum keeper,
please learn
keep out of the drum
to play it properly.
Game of drums.
Bang it to some sort of rhythm, so that you're actually matching the song.
If you would like any lessons, Mark will help you out with that, I think. No, I didn't hear him. But if you've out of time, then it's not.
Mark, get that box over there and pretend it's a drum. You tell us how you do the beat of a drum.
Do you think banging on them sponsor boards helps? On games?
Well, all that does.
Do you think?
And the drum never did this at any point. It starts off that.
Yeah. Now sometimes I think that's quite effective. Banging on the direct signs. I think personally.
Or on the top of the shutters.
On the top of the shutters. Yeah. So if the drum does the job.
Well, that's the.
I thought it was
but they never.
I thought you were like.
They never used the drum to start off.
A chant.
Like a chant or anything like that.
So is he just banging for now?
So I get, and that's what
that's the story of my younger years.
On Twitter, that's almost their justification for having the drum was, well, it's not starting the chants off. That's why it's not shit, because that's what other clubs do.
Is a drum there
We're just keeping the pace or slowing down the songs is what
is a drum there to keep the pace of a song?
Aye. If you can play the pace and play the rhythm.
What do you just like? What the drum out?
I'm taking my guitar next week. I'm plugging it in.
I'm taking some big fuck off cymbals every time we get a phone.
I'm all for the drum, but please get that rhythm.
So you're pro drum?
It was all right. Like there was a few times where it actually.
Was swaying him out.
Actually,
it did.
Actually, it's quite good.
But when it was in time, it did kind of work. But so most of the time, it was just.
Do you know what you're saying now?
Do you want him to play Run to the Hills on it, like 10 notes on the drum?
No, but just keep the
like Animal of the
pace of the song.
Yeah, no, but I think to be fair, I think we can all agree if it helps the atmosphere in the ground, I'm all for it. I didn't really care.
Get two drums for it.
I'll have one. I didn't care. But if it doesn't, get rid of it.
Well, I'm gonna say the F word. Get the sirens ready.
Wow.
But obviously we had the whole flag display and everything like that. As I said, I was going to say the F word. We had the whole flag display. The drum was part of that because it was in the singing section in the Gallowgate, and it was to try and build that atmosphere and get it all going up. So if that's what it's to do, then great, do it. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Just please play it better. That's all I can say.
My thoughts on the flags were absolutely amazing. I thought they looked mint, in my opinion. There was one flag we all know wasn't great. Questionable, yeah. Definitely questionable, but...
Yeah, if anybody else did that, be hell on.
If I put a fucking GallowgateShots flag in it, it'll be fucking hell on.
No, you're now allowed... This is official. You're now allowed to fund and have your own flag, and it can say what you
I'm
like.
not.
No, it's there. It's on Twitter. It's in black and white, or blue and white, depending on which Twitter
You've got daytime and nighttime.
I've got nighttime all the time.
I've got nighttime's much better.
I'm daytime.
Yeah, nighttime all the way.
Oh, I'm nighttime all the way. Yeah.
But that was a questionable decision. I wasn't sure on the message either. The big banner thing, it looked good.
It was suggestive, the message, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it looked amazing, I'll be really honest. I really did. I thought it looked class.
It looked good. It was very, very well organised.
Rafa loved it. He's seen his reaction. He loved it.
Well, at the time, I didn't think he actually paid much attention to it, because he didn't even seem to come out and have a look. He didn't even acknowledge the Gallagher or anything like that. But before the game, when they came out the tunnel, but then there was that shot that has been put around saying this was his fit.
Amazing.
Let's say it was, but that could have been taken at any time.
No, if it's the one, I'm sorry. I
know what you're talking about.
There's one picture where
the coach behind him
he's
as well.
He's smiling, looking at it, but
I don't even know where it is.
I know what you're
if 100%, that's his reaction. Fine.
But I thought it looked well.
It looked fantastic. I just didn't get the message.
Well, it was a Valencia thing, wasn't it? It was what Valencia used to
sing.
sing.
Valencia though?
No, I know, but it's something that's relevant to him in his time.
Is it? I don't know.
Well, he had a really bad time in Valencia with the owners and that, didn't he? And the Valencia fans believed in Rafa, like we do, that in the messages that, because he had been lied to with the Valencia board all them years ago, his first ever coaching job or whatever it was, and that was what the message that they would sing about Rafa, and that's where they got it from.
Right.
So that's
I didn't know
it's
that.
nothing to do with Ashley, and apparently they said it's nothing to do with the lies of Ashley.
Well, no, they came on, but then they said that it wasn't to do with Valencia either.
It's 100% to do with Ashley, but they're using Valencia as a smokescreen.
That message was what them used to sing or say. Sorry, a bit of both.
Say.
So we're just picking.
But then it came out and said that it was a message to Sky, not a message to Rafa.
To Sky.
Yeah. It was a message to the commentators and the pundits on Sky. Oh. That is what they came out and said.
We shouldn't be doing that, man. The more we piss and moan and just cry about it, they're just probably going to do it more. Just be bigger and just do give us a fuck. If Souness doesn't Henry, I don't give a shit.
Well, Souness was raving about after the game.
He was.
So should we just have that Rafa flag with Rafa, I'd happily suck you off?
No, I'm not. I'm getting what because to me I thought it was.
I thought it was a dig at Ashley.
I did as well.
When I seen the first.
When I first read it, I thought, oh no, we're going back to this again. I just feel that doesn't help the negativity overall. But when I read that it was about what Valencia used to sing about him, and it wasn't aimed at Ashley, then I thought, oh, well, fair enough. It's a bit different. What I do also think sometimes.
Well, I'm questioning that now. I wasn't questioning it before, but now that we're just using Valencia as shite, what's Valencia got to do with us?
That was a mess. The reason that they've done it is because Valencia had said that. However, what they're saying is that it was a dig at the press and Sky because we were live on Sky at that time. They came out and said that. They came out and said that on their Twitter.
That fucking straight out of my head.
Well, it looked good.
I loved
how it was in Spanish. Fantastic. I thought that was a great touch in Spanish. Rafa commented saying that was really nice of him to do that. Anyone's thoughts on it's aimed at obviously just Rafa? Sometimes I feel as if this is going to sound really stupid, but as a player coming out, there's not about any player, is there? It's just about him. And I'm not all for that sometimes.
That conversation before with the flags is that all are legends and stuff like that. There's nothing in support of any of
the 11 players.
The thing is because you have more of a lifespan with a flag with an older player. Because you know it's going to last forever.
Yeah. And they deserve it though. Some of them,
yes, 100%.
They've done a lot.
If you get one, say, of Richie, who's to know Richie's going to leave next season? Yeah. So you're only going to get seasons with this flag unless you just sell it onto the next movie guys do.
I'm not saying necessarily have a flag of the cells or
no, you could have a squad photo. Do you know when they do the huddle?
Well, maybe yes, maybe yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something that's more modern for the players, or a message saying that we believe in you as the players.
Yes.
Do you know, a message to the players? Because when them come out, yes, they'll be thinking that's amazing. That's our Rafa. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it.
I don't know. It's just my.
Well, my initial
supporting
thing,
the team is what what it's about.
What I'm getting that across, right?
You know, I'll have daft ideas for stuff like flags like that, and I don't get involved anymore with it.
Why?
You know why? But I tend not to get involved. I'm not putting my ideas forward anymore for stuff like this because when I did put my ideas forward, first of all, I got told that they didn't want me designs; they wanted me money. Well, not them, but one person.
Yep.
And we'll not get in one. I fucking love to fucking get in, but we'll not.
Might be listening.
So
likes to listen, doesn't he?
Zany. So what was I going? But I thought that first game against Spurs, the first home game, first game of the season, I think that should have been a display or just one flag just to say thank you to those players that got us back in the Premier League, because we didn't get a chance to do it at the end of last season, obviously, because we won the last game of the season.
Yeah, last minute, of course.
But you would have thought that first game in the Premier League, even if the club had arranged it, a server flag or something just saying thank you to those players.
I'm with you there.
And that's what I would have went for. And like now, we've got fucking flag sections in every fucking part of the ground now. We've got Lee's flag, which is starting up, which is getting a bit of momentum. But I'm not sure if it's going to take off. Maybe it will, maybe it won't.
I hope it does, because again, when Gallowgate flags came out, I was all for it, supported, brilliant idea.
I love it.
Again, if it makes the games have more atmosphere, gets people up, part of it, I'd quite happily stand in my seat waving the flag around if it's going to make a difference to what's happening on that pitch.
To be fair, I'm not normally there to see.
Well, no, that's the problem.
I mean, I did.
To be honest, there was a flag that, like where I sit, and I was like, who's put that flag there?
So where do you sit again?
Gallowgate.
You're in the Gallowgate?
Yeah, just.
So there's no
just
flags
into the Gallowgate from the corner.
There's no flags get towards you, no?
Aye.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
Okay. Right.
So whereas the big surfer flag goes across where I sit.
Right. Fair enough.
So what do I think about Lee's flag?
Great. Let's hope they
that doesn't seem convinced. Yeah.
Let's hope we get the money for them to be able to do what we do at the other end.
I'm worried.
I just hope they get the same backing from the club as what Gallowgate flags.
I think they will. I do think they will.
Do we even know if it's a separate entity?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it is, because they've approached me to help. Like Gallowgate flags wouldn't have done that.
So good.
Well, good, because I just hope there's no animosity and sort of like spitefulness. Like, I'm worried that there's going to be like a war flags going on, like where the corner flags and there are shit going. I'm really worried that social media and there'll be a real sort of battle.
The thing is, with the Gallowgate and the flag display, you've got a more condensed area. The Lees is huge compared to the Gallowgate.
But you're not going to get it up on the. It's exactly the same size when you take the top tier out, which is full of away fans.
It just seems a lot more open, doesn't it? The Lees
It's exactly the same size.
It does. I think
it's just you've got the roof that comes over the Gallowgate.
I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm overly for it, to be honest with you. I hope it works. Of course I do. I don't know. I just think one part of the ground makes it a bit more special. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much of the cop, but that's just my opinion. I like the idea. I think they're doing a really good job and all the rest of it.
I honestly believe the full ground should do it. You go back to times where we've had things where just the simple stuff of where people have had a scarf.
Yeah.
Where we've seen the scarves around our heads and stuff like that. And
I love scarves, like the scarf displays, like what the likes of Liverpool do on the home games. They have a mixture of flags, like not as many flags as what we have, but they do have a lot of flags, and the scarves. That looks amazing. And we've never capitalised on that apart from Shearer's testimonial.
Yeah,
we've had a few games where people have been encouraged to bring the
but no one ever
with them.
You get a handful, but there's more people that fucking put the torch on the fucking phone because some daft shit up at level 7 done it.
There's too many. There's a lot of people though that come to the game dressed like they're going to a fucking
it depends if
casinos. It's just like there's loads of them turn up like just.
That's probably the problem, mate. You don't get many fans these days that just go to the game. Everyone just thinks of the day.
Full kit,
everyone just thinks of the game as a night out and a day out now.
Well, if we're going out before and after the game, I get dressed to go out.
And I'm not taking a scarf because I'll just lose it.
See, for me,
to be fair, I found a few scarves on nights out. I've got loads of scarves in the house now.
Told you to stop going in the bloody mosques.
What?
And scarves.
Oh God! I don't wear scarves in mosques.
Do they not? I can take them off so you can nick them.
That's Sikhs.
That's a turban, man.
The women. All right. Jesus Christ.
That's a Sikh. Bloody hell.
Hopefully we'll have some money off them shortly. When you look. Anyway,
that's sheikhs.
A sheikhs one of those.
Sikhs.
So I didn't get any of them, will do. I'll shake the money out of them. Anyway, back to the flag.
Anything that will help that atmosphere. I
suppose you're right. Maybe you're right there. Maybe you are.
Which is why I'm saying that I don't mind the drum. As long as you learn how to play it.
Yeah, it's getting better though, isn't it? Do you think it's getting better? If you go back, if you go to the park,
it's getting better because Dummett's not playing, mate.
No, I don't mean that. I mean
it's got to be a positive thing, right? Because and we did talk about it a while ago. Is that if things start to then go wrong on the pitch or something like that, results start going against us, then the vocal support can go the other way, and it can then have a detrimental effect.
I've never had any fear that these like anyone will create a flag that has an awful message on it.
Really? Have we not done it time and time again in the past?
It won't be loud.
Yeah, I hated that.
Won't be loud.
That Pardew out thing. Oh my god, that was.
But there's been loads of flags in the past, but obviously it's not part of that official display that's put on it.
So they won't be allowed to do that.
But it'll be the same people.
That's good. I hope the corner.
It's the same people that used to sit in the corner that have now moved into.
You can't put a. You can't restrict some people taking flags in, then some people not. You can't just let people in.
But we know that they do.
They do. You can't just let people in with pro club stuff. Like if things are going well, then fair enough. If things are going bad, you can't just all of a sudden say you can't bring that
They
in.
let them in with that flag, the biggest one they did on Sunday, that said that if you're lied to, we're still behind you, and they okayed that.
Nah, but
am I right in thinking that?
But they didn't know what it was.
They didn't know what Spanish was.
Just even didn't.
No, but apparently the club weren't happy with it, but then it came out that the club are fine with it. So God knows what's happening. Maybe it's just because it's who it is, and if the club like you, or if there's certain people in the club that like you, then you get free rein. I'm fucking got a muzzle on me. I'm muzzling a lead on me.
As I said, there was only one flag that was just a bit of a joke, but the rest very good. No complaints.
I shouldn't have took a Mirovic flag in. Right, next question. Been going on for ages, yeah.
Sorry.
Which current NUFC player would win the Apprentice? And that's from Ben Bennett.
Oof.
I would say Rob Elliott. I think he seems quite intelligent.
I would say Marino.
I was thinking Marino.
Or Shelby seems like a bit of a wheeler and dealer, doesn't he? Like where he's got a market stall or something.
Shelby's a bit of a white.
I think Yedlin would be really flash like.
Who?
Yedlin would be really like so.
Yedlin would have a fancy looking suit on, wouldn't he?
Aye, but Yedlin would like come up with some like clothing range or something and it'd just die, wouldn't it?
Probably. Tea parties or something.
Yedlin tea parties. Right. Young Mono, he's back again. Congratulations, he got married the other week, by the way. He wore his
congratulate me.
Congrats. Oh, Rob Fish, he always messages, didn't he?
He wore his pin badge.
Good lads.
For his wedding.
What a guy.
He asks, Town when the buyout is completed.
What was that, sorry?
Town when the buyout is completed.
Oh, 100%.
That'll be a while then.
He's fucking definitely not happening now, yeah, you know.
Well, I would say I'm more on his side than anywhere else. Like I'm excited. I've got my picture ready to put.
I feel the same way as the buyout is what I feel about the drum. Like I didn't really.
It's probably I don't think.
I'm not paying much attention to it right now.
I can't see it happening anytime soon.
When you mean soon, do you mean like by December the reports, or do you mean soon?
Well,
in 2020?
like this. I kind of see it happening this year.
Right. Well, it's October.
Maybe
so
in the I don't know. Maybe something happens in the summer.
I think Ashley will just pull the plug on it all.
Well,
I think he's saying he's going to sell, and he's got all.
You know for fine well.
He is not going to sell this club unless he gets what he wants out of that deal.
Yes, and what he wants out of that
deal. He's going to want top
$100.
dollar. He's going to want all of his money
He's
back.
going to want advertisement in the ground.
Exactly.
100%.
He's going to have stipulation on stipulation.
And to be fair, if I was him, I'd want advertisement to remain in the ground.
Like for me, like I know
he can keep his advertising in there.
He can do
if we can keep his 200 bloody million that he's allegedly had in there with his
it's not going to happen.
free loan.
It's not going to happen.
We know that's none of that's going to happen.
We'll keep your sponsorship in as long as you pay.
What you'll do, you'll go, I'll sell the club, but I've got the naming rights. It's going back there. Sports Director.
Well, he still owns all of the merchandising and stuff like that.
He's still got the club shops. He probably keeps control of the club shops and stuff like that.
If things like that happen, then no one's going to buy one.
No.
Because if someone's going to buy one, they'll want. You're talking 400 million here.
They want the per opportunity to make money.
Lot. They're going to want everything. They're not going to let him have rights to the crest or bollocks like that and all this rubbish. They will want everything.
There'll be advertisement boards, all there.
Which might not.
100%.
Which may mean that it never happens. But
right. Rob Fish sends in, would you play Gale in number 10 role behind Joselu? Or do you think Perez will ever be dropped?
Well, we've talked about that quite often, haven't we?
I don't think I'd start Gale perhaps in that position, but I'm not saying I wouldn't end the game in that with him in that position. Because he's not a number 10, is he? He's not a number 10.
He's a striker.
But I think...
But Perez, when we're on the offensive, doesn't play as a number 10. He was right up with it. At times we were playing 4-4-2.
Yeah, that is true actually. Yes, a lot of the times I see Perez, it's 4-4-2. Like, well, there was many times in the game on Sunday I was screaming out, "Put Gale with Perez."
Exactly.
Be absolutely fine.
Well, I mean, I've lost count of the amount of times I've done Mitrovic up front with Gale playing off him in that number 10 would work.
Or Yosselu and Gale, because same kind of thing. Yeah,
well, he hasn't got as much to the hold-up play and stuff like that, but...
Aye.
Right, John, who is at Downtown, sends in, which era has you looking forward to more? Which era has you looking forward to more?
What era?
Yeah, the Rafa, the Sir Bobby Robson years, or these years under Rafa.
Well, he's obviously under...
I'll let you talk about that.
He's obviously under 25.
Them Robson years were...
When the Robson years, I wasn't really massively into.
I was home and away.
The Robson years were great, but they were out on the Keegan years.
Keegan was...
That was unbelievable.
The Robson era was highly underrated, though. We were top of Christmas, man.
Yeah,
we were top of Christmas. I remember forgetting we were shouting top of the league on Boxing Day when we were...
Was that 2011?
No,
that's when we came back up that.
No,
season,
2004 or something.
Well before that, man.
Well before that.
Well, what is he?
Hugo was in, wasn't he?
He follows this up.
But when we had like Rob A and Gary Speed, Rob Lee, Shearer,
2011 was the season we finished. Amazing. 5th with Pordew. Is that right?
Yeah. Which was a good season, actually. But no, Bobby's was...
5 months that we had.
Barcelona, Champions League, losing the first 3 and then coming back. Oh, it was amazing.
The great best ever match was Robson when we went to Feyenoord and we won that. That was absolutely unbelievable.
Unreal.
That I'll never forget that night. It was unreal.
Yeah, it was amazing.
The whole, I mean, because they thought they were going to win it. I can remember, I've never heard noise like it from that stadium. The whole stadium was shaking because they were all bouncing up and down. The noise that was coming out of them, and then when we...
And then he missed the goal due to Dyer. Dyer was... Because I loved Dyer, I thought Dyer was amazing. And he was in, wasn't he? And he shot the keeper saying, oh no. And then I just see him Bellamy just like running
from nowhere.
How he got that one in from that angle, but...
Class. Really great memories. That NTL shirt.
I ended up some 15 rows down from where I started.
I feel sorry for the fuckers you fell.
Unbelievable. But the Keegan years, because we came out of some absolute shite. I mean, you were too young to remember it, but...
Well, during the Keegan, like the 90... we're talking about the 95 season,
Well, early 90s it started.
92, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
went through into...
I would have only been like 4 in 92, 5 in 92.
I was like 7 or 8, and I only really remember when Andy Cole signed from then afterwards, because I used to start going to games then, and I kind of knew. But we were on the up then, though. It was before that when we were
coming really out the back of it from Jim Smith and Ozzy Ardiles and the Arthur Cox and things like that. We were shite. Absolutely shocking.
Showing
and then
your age, mate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. He must be a young lad.
I don't know it firsthand, but I've read so much about it.
It was unbelievable.
Right, Daryl Mitchell Hill sends in, how do you solve a problem like he was here? Works hard
with a gun,
but needs to be better in his game at number 10.
Spot on. That's just what we've said, absolutely spot on.
Daryl Mark is going to track you down because you said Perez works hard, so I'd lock your doors if I was you, mate.
He definitely does. He works hard. I have to be honest. He does work a lot. I'd love to see the stats of how much he actually does.
A lot of it's fruitless, though. That's.
So you think he's doing it with no intent? Like he's running.
I don't think he's not. I don't think he's not intended to. He just doesn't have any end product.
I know what you mean. Hey, he bottled 2 50-50s on Sunday.
He bottles every 50.
There was one that was horrendous. I think Shelby had to give a foul away because he didn't go in for that 50-50.
I'll try and defend our players as much as possible, but Perez does bottle majority 50-50s.
Everything.
Soft as shit.
Then he does this.
His hair's really greased back, isn't it? I don't know how it stays like that.
Do you know who cuts his hair? James Laws,
his brother,
sends in, if I'm currently in Spain, and Sunderland are in the Championship relegation zone, do I have more European experience than they ever have?
Yes.
Yes.
Mate, it's wonderful seeing them there. But anyway, next question.
Right, Josh Meredith, do you think Rafa is only hanging around because he thinks the club may be taking over? Club.
It's something I've thought of, like.
I think
did you see his interview when he got asked after the game about that? About did you see them in the ground?
To be fair, most of the time
do you always think he smiled in a way to go, know exactly what's going on?
Well, he's mad before.
That's what everybody said, but do you not think just...
He's mad before, he's mad when...
Or do you think he's laughing and thinking there's no in it? What he asked us a question for? Because I honestly thought when he asked him it and he went, no, I know nothing. And the way he responded, I was like, you clearly know something's going on. He met her after the game, apparently. Rumour has it. I know the rumour's obviously a fly.
No, apparently she did meet Rafa, but it was just like a passing thing. It wasn't nothing like Wasn't any other.
But if she's down the tunnel,
but she met Charlie
Barnes
in Bishop.
But that's because she was sat in the bloody director's box as a guest of.
Nah,
she was sitting next to Steve Wraith, man. She wasn't talking to Steve Wraith. She was talking to Charlie. She was sitting next to Steve Wraith.
There's something going on.
Next to him,
there's two seats along.
There's definitely something going on.
The thing was, she was there as a guest of, obviously, somebody that's kind of, what's he called, Justin Barnes or whatever his name is.
It was the boy who was trying to sell her. Mind you, I seen one rumour. So it was Independent says that
Who the fuck's Justin Barnes?
Dalglish took her into like not a
seed,
some sort of room anyway that Rafa was in and stuff, and he like introduced him. Fuck, Dalglish wouldn't be doing that. I can't imagine him like giving her a tour of St James's going, oh, buy us, like type of thing. I can't imagine Dalglish doing that. Like, back in the year
we'll never know. We'll never know. We're getting excited over nothing. It's just somebody turning up a match just because.
Do you know what the reason?
She's been involved in.
The reason I'm not giving it much.
I know that's what he said before, but where's all the pictures of it? Where was the press coverage from that Stoke game?
I think there's no smoke without fire, and I've said it before.
I tend to agree, but then I also think that I don't really want to like go too much into it, and I don't really want to think about it too much because not so long ago we're getting bought by some Chinese consortium. Like,
if it happens, it happens.
I think there's
so much to say that it's going to turn out for the better.
It's
that's the other thing.
It's a risk.
Mind
right
you,
now
I did really laugh. I couldn't stop laughing. You know, the Chronicle had put something in saying that their opinion. You know, by the way, this bird here has only been at one match in her life. Like, spoke 4 words to Charlie or something.
She's been to plenty of Liverpool games though.
She tried by them last summer.
Well,
them tried. Them were saying that she will want to move grounds. So she'll want to. Oh no, will not be at St James's. She'll move grounds. Let's get things real.
How does they know that?
Honest to God, they said.
And she said it.
They said that because they can't extend the ground, she will move us to a different stadium.
Well, maybe in the future, but fucking like
she hasn't even had a magpie. She hasn't even experienced what a magpie is yet, and then we've got her moving the ground, changing the strip colours. Like literally, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe what I was reading, and I just obviously didn't.
Where the fuck do they think she's going to move her to?
Well, yeah, but I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I was like, how are you so far down the line here? You've got one like 60,000 seats at a different name.
Well, for a decade down the line, for a new
stadium. I couldn't believe it.
Bollocks. It's all bollocks.
I do think there's something.
I'll go on record. It's not going to happen.
Ever.
I'm swinging towards what him like, but
everybody expects us after Sunday for her to turn up with a check on Monday morning and there you are, we're gonna buy you.
No,
it's not going to happen.
I think
it's a long drawn out process.
Yeah.
If do
you think we're closer now than what we were 2 years ago, son? Or we're closer now than then?
Yeah.
Probably, but only because
Rafa.
he's brought in
someone
Justin Barnes.
Yeah. So he clearly wants to sell.
But he's always
interested in 3 clubs apparently. Apparently, Sky say that it's 3 clubs.
Who are there? 2 or 3 ones?
I heard one was Burnley. Like that's
Liverpool was
definitely one to try to buy them twice. To try to buy them.
So the other one's Burnley, and who's the other one?
To be honest, though,
be some of that bullshit.
If I'm an investor, I'd buy Liverpool over us any day of the week.
But she couldn't afford them. Though. Well, it wasn't. Well, of course she can afford them. She got the money, but I mean, it was just he doesn't want to sell. Blah 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 blah. But this is a great opportunity
because
for anyone that wants to buy one. Anyone that wants to buy a football club. We are the ticket. I think personally. I mean, I really do.
We've been saying this for years, mate, man.
We are prime for it too.
It's always the whole sleeping giant thing that comes with Newcastle, and they're probably right by saying that because if the money was there, it could happen, and it's just all like dream for at the minute. Like, but it could happen. We've seen it in the past. Like, we have obviously, you couldn't attract the players. We have attracted the players in the past. We have done it.
You can attract players. You can't. There's business about the north. It's cold shit bollocks. It's a lot of bollocks. If you're willing to pay and you're willing to be successful or try and be successful, the players will come. No way about it. They will.
You're
definitely.
Right.
But on the flip side, if you look at the amount of takeovers that have happened in football, there's not many success stories that I can think off the top of my head. There's all of them nightmares normally. Like,
well, you just look at
everyone looks at City and Roman and think, wow, that's it. But you look at the ones that have fell away,
billions and billions and billions and billions in.
Yeah, they've got an endless pot of money.
You know, like a Villa guy, Dr. Shivago, whatever he's called, he's pumping money in.
Dr. Shivago.
They're horrendous, man.
They're Cardiff.
I call it Blackburn.
Change the
Well,
colours.
Chicken guys.
the thing is,
that's
you
my
need-
worry.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
My worry is this business, like of getting a guy in who
Something
hates
like that,
black
you
or
get-
something and just wants red. Or
That's a bit racist. It's Donald Trump printing him on that.
no, but like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine how bad that would be? Hates the black and white.
So that's why
it
it
be pink and white.
it
Or something.
needs
Fuck,
to
hate
be,
magpies.
whoever comes in needs to understand the club.
Club.
And
Do you think maybe and I'm not trying to say it's going to be her, but she's from Yorkshire, right? Apparently.
Oh, yeah,
So
I heard.
she might have more sort of common sense about the area, or not the area, but like rather than someone from China who doesn't give a monkeys who we are. He's just buying with it for his little project.
Just to make some money.
And he will be the person that does what that Tan did, and all of a sudden you're wearing red, you're changing it from a canary to a cat or whatever.
Well,
Like,
Hull have done it. Blackpool's done it.
That's my biggest fear, because it's better the devil you know stuff. Then you're getting into that territory where you're like, whoa. You know what I mean? Will we ever get to the point where we say, I wish we had Ashley back? Probably. I hope never ever see them words like
I think right now it's pretty risky you're going to have to take.
Yeah, I probably agree. Because you lose Rafa if you didn't. That's for starters. He will not hang around, man. He will not hang around. He ain't going to be happy with...
Unless there's a
Doesn't
project.
want to be lied to, does he?
Unless there's a project, he's not staying. If it's going to be a thing of surviving every season, he's not going to be. Yeah.
No, he's not. No way.
Well, he won't be happy with that, but that's...
We'll see what happens in January. You know for fine well we're not going to spend any money in January because all this talk of a club getting bought out is going to be like going up in the air. So like Ashley's going to be like, I'm not spending any money.
Rome wasn't built in a day, though, and I think even
But
if they do get taken over...
he doesn't have
Was
to put
Valencia?
money into the club to do that, does he?
We're not going to... This is another worry that I've got. If we get taken over and all of a sudden she's like, right, you've got more cash than you've ever heard of. People's expectations are going to...
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
Rocket.
Oh, it'll be
It's
ridiculous.
just Rome isn't built in a day, and I think no matter what happens, if Ashley stays or she buys or someone else buys her, it's got to be patient and just go with the flow, and just takes time. But it would be mint if I got bought out and someone said to Rafa, he has a blank check. It would be unreal, wouldn't it? And then you might really start to see some real contacts and talents coming in.
Might buy 11 grand. Damn it.
You might pay 12 million for a winger, never playing. You never know.
That's another one. That's another one. I haven't got time for that right now, but that's another one which I cannot understand.
Honestly, I ask myself that. I mean, before I go to bed, I go,
I kinda,
12 million.
He was stripped off, ready to come on against Liverpool. Then
He wasn't coming
No,
on.
he was. He was stripped off, ready to come on. Then all of a sudden, he was back on. Then someone else came out, got stripped off. Then here they went back. Then it ended up being Diome coming on.
Because Rafa probably seen him, went, not him.
Who's it?
Not him. I only paid 12 million for him. Get him on the bench.
Oh no, I got the wrong brother.
I would love to, and I will, if I ever have the, well, you know, never ever have the opportunity to ask this question. If I ever did, though, I would say, you obviously were upset we didn't buy a striker. Really upset that we didn't buy a striker. But you paid 12 million for someone that you weren't willing to play ever. Why not just keep that 12 million? Pay the 5 million you got for Yosselu, which you have paid, and then buy someone for 17 million?
Yeah.
Well, I can't work that one out. I'll never ever get the answer to that, I don't think. But anyway,
It's a strange one.
it's really strange, isn't it?
We'll get on another
He's
thing.
one for the future.
How old is he?
40. No, he's about 20. He's only 20.
He's not one. He's not one for the future, man.
The problem we've got, though,
He was a good player at Norwich.
the only cup that he'll play in would got beat. He's only going to play in games that don't mean now.
Has he been playing?
It's
in
a long season.
Has he been playing in the under 23s?
Nah.
He hasn't even been
He's
there.
literally just sitting at home, having shots, eating kebabs, and just getting paid.
We're 2 months into the season, man. We've got a long time to go yet.
I tend to agree with Deka. I don't think we'll see him before that 3 strikers. Winger, sorry.
No, I really don't.
Who's in front of him on the left-hand side?
That's it.
That's who.
That's who, and that's it. Who's going to...
Oh, he'll sort something out, man. He'll put someone else out there. He'll put someone else out there.
Double get fit, double be on the left wing.
He's paid 12. Was he the most expensive signing this summer?
Yeah.
Right. So he's the he's the man that we've bought as the highest amount, and he hasn't had a sniff. So he doesn't rate him much, does he?
He played in pre-season.
Against Forest. He played against Forest, and that was it. He's never going to
It just shows you the difference. So we paid like 5 million for Atsu, then we're going to pay 12 million for Murphy.
That was a
what?
That was a sniff.
That's what I mean, though. It's a good buy, like an amazing buy. Like you would happily paid like 12 million for Atsu.
I hope
like,
I'm
looking
on here at the end of the season totally eating humble, but I'll bring it, I'll bring it. If Murphy turns around and he's amazing. And this isn't to take at Murphy at all. I just find it really strange that you've paid 12 million for someone when you know we haven't got much money and you're never going to play him anyway.
He's young and English, comes at a premium. You double the fee.
Well, fuck it, go and buy someone from abroad for 6. If you're not going to play him, what's the difference? Buy me, you didn't play me, what's the point? Like, I just cannot get it through my head why you've paid 12 million for someone and never give him a sniff. Never give him a sniff.
He's got something about him.
I hope he does. I hope I'm wrong. Of course I do.
I also said that about Riviere.
He didn't get a chance, though, did he? He's gone back abroad and he's scoring week in, week out.
Is he?
He scored against Paris Saint-Germain. I couldn't believe I was watching it now. And I put it on because I was wanting to watch
I missed the sit as well. Did you see the sit I missed?
Sit, wasn't it? I know it was. It was. I couldn't believe when he scored. Like I was like, bloody hell. With here.
Right, we'll end it there.
No more questions?
Nah, that was it.
Southampton away
predictions. I'm gonna.
We never win in Southampton.
I'm gonna say defeat, and I
job.
don't want to say it.
We're doing the job. I feel it good.
This is the first defeat I've predicted this season, but I think it's coming because we'll never ever do well against Southampton.
I think they should.
I mean, they're not playing particularly well at the minute, like.
They're not, but we never play well against Southampton. Never.
Now, new terms.
Some of the worst away games we've had.
We've won there once, something like that, is it? Once in recent.
I think it'll be a pretty boring game. I think it'll be very similar to the Brighton game, and they'll probably nick it 1-0.
It's on the telly, it is, isn't it?
Probably. It is again,
I think what we played this was 6th game, 7th game.
We never do well against them down there on the telly.
I'm going to go.
At least Letizia is not playing.
The last one I watched was a stag do when I was in Benidorm watching it on the telly, and we got Elliot saved about 108 shots. I swear to God.
Was it 6-0 one?
Oh, 6-0. He was man of the match, Elliot, and we got beat 6-0. That tells you everything about that game.
Nah, I think it'll be a shy game, but I think we'll get beat 1-0. I hate to say it, but I think we'll
get beat 1-0. I'm going 1-0 us. Yeah, I really believe we'll win.
I'm going to say we'll win.
Get in there. Come on.
It's normally me predicting the wins. No, you used to with the defeat.
I'm really confident for this game. I don't know why. I really am. I think we're going
to
be alright.
Yeah? Is a man that got you
confidence? She might be there.
She might be.
Front with them pretty blue eyes.
Then everyone's going to say she's going to be by Southampton.
Hey, have you seen that picture where you've got Ashley with his top off? And then you've got like Owen and then here, she's like landing into a radiator. A
radiator. Right, we're off. See you next week. And in fact, no, it'll be the week after because we haven't got a game this weekend.
Well, it's the international break, isn't it?
International
Monday night.
Get a week off.
Did they?
Who cares? Who cares? Shelby wasn't playing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Good night.
Adios.
See you on the other side. Good night.